So, before we keep it moving, we want to do something. I want to make sure you guys do something that's really important. I want you guys to make sure you text and thank your babysitter and your partner for allowing you to stay out tonight and to drink and be merry and be happy. So if you get a chance, feel free to send your partner or your babysitter a picture of me to prove that you were here. And I also want you to make sure that you give a big shout out and some love to the bartenders who are giving you guys all these amazing spirits. Yes. I don't get a snap, Ariel. Stop talking and snap now, Ariel. Never mind. All right, so coming to the stage, we have the woman that does cool projects. She spells her name really cool. She's from the Germantown CDC. She is the co-producer of, she was co-producer of TEDx Philly. I'm trying to think of any more stuff that you do, because you're really cool and fly. So, welcome to the stage, Emaleigh Doley. Y'all can cheer now.
Hi, everybody.
So, Em, before you start, you know the drill. What is your brand of technical urbanism most compared to? Go.
It's really embarrassing.
Do you want to share it? That's not a good way to start.
I do, because it's the only thing I can think of, and it's the truth.
It got to be nice here. We got to be
all right,
PG, all right?
So,
all right.
so I'm going to out myself. I am a huge fan of the band Fish. And they're an experimental, people call them a jam band. I call them the greatest experimental band ever. And that is pretty much my brand all the time. So with regards, wait, let me finish explaining that, because people who know them are gonna think that like that's really weird. No, but they're a cool, fun band. They play all different genres of music. They try whatever they like. They do whatever they want, and they have fun. So that's how I see my community work.
I was just joking about, because of the Justin thing, I was trying to go, I know who Fish is.
Okay, good. All right. Yes. So I live in Germantown. I grew up there. And now I work for Germantown United Community Development Corporation, which is really great, because I was working as a grassroots community organizer for many years before that, and I had no life. So now I have more of a life because this is my job. So if you're not familiar with Germantown, it's in Northwest Philadelphia. That like red line is our neighborhood boundaries. It's a huge neighborhood. We have a population of just over 40,000. So it's a very big neighborhood, lots of little nodes and parts of the neighborhood that all have different names. We have over like 25 different RCOs and civic organizations, which might sound like a nightmare to some people, but it's actually kind of cool that there's that much civic engagement in the neighborhood. The thing I wanted to talk about today is our 2016 Parking Day installation. So how many folks in this room are familiar with Parking Day? A lot of people, right? Okay. So I don't want to offend anyone. But I'm coming towards Parking Day just as like your average Joe. I'm not an architect, I'm not an urban planner, I'm not a designer. So I kind of like was like, what? Everyone wants to do Parking Day here? Is this really worth my time? I don't know how to build anything. Our staff is super small. Our nonprofit is just 2 people. It's me and this guy, Andy Trackman. That's it. So if we're doing something like this, it's gonna have to like really benefit our organization and our mission. So yeah, this is what I said. I was like, that's cool, but why? But the mission of Parking Day is actually really cool. So it was founded in San Francisco. And the focus really is about drawing attention to the need for more urban open space in the city, in cities everywhere. So again, why should GU participate? So I started kind of looking at what other Parking Day installations were like, and I should backtrack slightly and say that our organization wouldn't be where it is today without the army of volunteers that work and support us. So we have a planning and design committee, which is made up of Germantown residents. And again, we all debated whether or not to do Parking Day. And the end result was that yes, we should do it, but we need to make sure that we have purpose. So we decided to do it, and I started looking at examples to kind of get people excited. And then I got really scared. because like people do really cool shit. Like, I don't know what this is, but it looks really involved. Like, it looks like Instagram worthy. Like, could I make something? Like, I really like Instagram, but like, could I make something that would be this cool? No. So it's really great that we were working with our awesome partners on this project, which was the head of our planning and design committee. Her name is Rachel Griffith, and she happens to be an urban planner and landscape architect who lives in Germantown. And our second partner, which is our civic engagement partner, is Lisa Jo Epstein, who is here somewhere tonight, and you should find her. There she is. She's wearing a scarf. Who's the executive director of a company called Just Act, which I'll get to in a little bit more. So let me just show you like what people do for parking day. Like, look, like those tires, and they're building things. They've got these like floating books. Like, that's really cool. They got the Pope. Like, how does that happen? Look at all these balloons and that pile of fruit. All these people. Could that many people come to my parking day? I don't know. Like, is anyone going to show up? This was really lush. I kind of love this one with all these different plants and like this cute little setup. Like, you would definitely forget that you were in a parking space. So that was like a bad exercise for me personally, because I was like, okay, our parking day event is not going to be as cool as any of those things. So the moral of that story is don't compare yourself to others when you're like debating whether or not you want to get going and do something fun like this in your neighborhood. And the second moral of the story is definitely get a partner and have a purpose that might be different than what the end goals are of like a global initiative like Parking Day. So our primary partner is an organization called Just Act, which works at the intersection of theater and social justice. And so at the time of these early conversations about whether or not we were going to do Parking Day, we were also included in revitalization efforts in the neighborhood. So doing a pop-up activity like Parking Day is one of the main things that really helps us get out on the street and connect with folks that don't follow Facebook, that like aren't following us on social media, aren't on our email newsletter, aren't finding out about our when our meetings are, and all sorts of things like that. It's really meeting people where they are on the street. So in deciding our location, we had a lot of debates. We had like a big list, and they were all like really easy locations that we could figure out how to pull this off. And we didn't decide the easy location at all. So we picked the intersection of Germantown and Shellen Avenue. Has anyone ever been there? Yeah. Yes, okay. It's very, very busy. It's one of the top transit hubs in the city. A couple different bus routes pass through here, and we decided to do our Parking Day location right behind this bus stop. Yeah, that's crazy. So this is looking in both directions. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be great. So thankfully, back to our awesome volunteers, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? Because like I have this tent, and that's like it. So our awesome landscape architect, Germantown resident Rachel Griffith came up with this sketch, and I was like, oh wow, this is really great. And the goal really was to create an outdoor living room that would be very inviting, like not something that's too weird that like people already were gonna be like, WTF, what is this? So we wanted to create something that was very approachable so we could engage the most people in our project. And connecting that with the other ongoing project that we had going on, Germantown, this is Germantown Heart and Soul, we were gonna gather stories. So anyone who stopped at the space for the day, we would ask them to fill out 2 different little flags that we ended up displaying. And I'll show them to you in a couple more slides. So Rachel did a really good job. I had these, all right, I had more than the tent. I also had these Adirondack chairs. And I brought we had 6 of them. But she did everything else. She got everything from a couple different, what are those places? The fancier ones. Yes. Well, consignment shops, thrift shops, and the salvage. That's it. Architectural salvage shops. And she got this different little things on donation and built this whole display, which is actually a really cozy space for the intersection of Germantown Avenue and Shelton Avenue. And it was actually this was like a reminder of why we do this. As this happened, I was like, oh no, do we have insurance? The answer is yes. So we all set up, we got everything set up. This is at like 9 or 10 a.m. and I'm like, is anyone gonna like stop, or are people just gonna like keep walking by? Like, how's this gonna work? So we had 2 spots, and this was it from the other side again. I'd say if we do it again, which we will, we'll dress up the other side a bit more. But it was still cool. So the main point of doing parking day for us was like not to create something like really visually stunning, because again, I can't, but people. And that was the best thing about it. And it was totally awesome. People chilling in the outdoor living room, talking about Germantown. This guy right here, his name is Howard. He's like a famous Germantowner. He loved chilling in the outdoor living room. He was all about it. This is Juliet, who joined our story engagement team for the This is Germantown Heart and Soul project, and she's also a Germantown resident. She's from New York City. She loves Germantown, so that's like cool. And people really just were stopping by all day long. This is one of our volunteers holding the umbrella of a lady who's filling out one of our flags. You can see Lisa Jo cracking up in conversation in the back left based on whoever she was talking to. Like, it was so fun. This is me and Rachel there on the left, and you can see conversation continues in the background. I should pause and say what was also really cool about this is, of the like over 200 people that we met while doing this parking day installation for the whole day, pretty much like 99% of them had never heard of Germantown United CDC, which I kind of had like expected that a little bit, but like that's the goal. So that was really our purpose, is to connect with a different community that we serve. The other cool thing about doing a project like this is you get visitors. This is my sister, who just showed up, and I was like, oh, yay. And sometimes you get visitors from far away. This is Kiki Volander, who for a long time was the chair of the design advocacy group, and I like never see anyone from Center City in Germantown, so I was like losing it. I was so excited, and she bought me a can of Coke. So again, one of the key takeaways from doing a project like this and just getting out there and like Akeem had said earlier, just doing what you want because nobody else is doing it, is the exchange. So what people were asked to do was fill out this yellow or green sign, and they asked 2 different questions. So this is something that our partner, Just Act, created for this project. So the first one is, I love Germantown because, and you can see what people's answers are. And they were like all really inspiring. I was like probably tearing up a little bit throughout the day. And the other one is, one wish I have for the avenues is, and this is really important for the work of the CDC, because we're tasked with, okay, well, how do we help to improve the neighborhood and meet the needs of the existing community? So that's exactly like the type of information, even if it is in a more casual way, we were able to gather throughout the entire day. I love this one too. So like I go to a lot of like these types of urbanist events, and I always kind of sometimes feel like I'm like not really part of it. This is like truth telling. And what was really, really cool for me to see, which is something that I know internally, was that people in my community out in the street shopping in the middle of the day on a Friday in Germantown actually want the same things that maybe the folks that have more access and opportunity and are more part of the scene want too. So this guy here was talking about he wants more living arts programs and play spaces for the community. So I have never, ever, ever spent 8 hours at the intersection of Germantown Avenue and Shelton Avenue. And at the end of the day, I was talking to our executive director, Andy Trackman, and I was saying, we need to make our board spend 8 hours at the intersection of Germantown and Shelton. Because it was just a really wonderful, fun, energetic, enlightening, moving experience that I didn't expect to get out of Parking Day. So, that being said, the moral of the story is I encourage you to participate in citywide programs like this and to do it your own way. So you have 177 days until the next Parking Day, and it's Friday, September 15th, and there you go. Come to Germantown.
So some of you might not know, in a past life, before I came over to this neck of woods in Fishtown, I was the 52nd Street Commercial Corridor Manager. So because of that, Emaleigh, you've won an extra question.
Okay.
All right, so first and foremost, explain to everyone in the room what the heck a commercial corridor manager is.
You run the street. No, that's not it at all.
You did that before in your lifetime, though. I can tell. Continue.
You are beholden to the Commerce Department. Wait, is this on air? No.
It's Facebook Live. We're like technology scientists. Go.
Okay, so in short, the Commerce Department of the city issues what's called Targeted Corridor Management Program grants, and that helps to fund the position Commercial Corridor Manager. So there are folks all around the city that work in neighborhoods, all different types of neighborhoods that have this title. The main thing is that you're the liaison between the Commerce Department and the businesses within your business district.
And you're the liaison between all you tactical urbanism folks that want to mess up stuff. So typically you guys are our kamikazes, daredevils that go in and we tell you what you can't do, but we don't say we see you doing it. And then you go in and do it for us, and we don't take the hit for it, and we give you a high five, buy you a shot, and we do more cool stuff, right? Maybe? Not on record, off record. We might do all that stuff.
So that is true. Prior to getting this job, I was for about 4 or 5 years doing grassroots community organizing and tactical urbanism projects throughout Germantown, and I definitely had to scale back slightly in the public realm.
Okay, so what leads me to question number 2. So, Just Act. Hi, Lisa Jo. She's amazing. So, Lisa Jo always wears scarves too. She has the best scarf collection in America. So, Just Act is storytelling.
Yes.
Which is really important in neighborhoods like Germantown that are really racially diverse, that are changing very rapidly, that have a lot of stuff going on, and folks that want to be there.
Exactly.
The cool thing about stories is the story. The bad thing about stories is sometimes people don't want to hear their story, because sometimes you hear the story and you're like, damn, did I do that maybe in my lifetime? So how do you guys in Germantown and with Just That manage to balance out hearing somebody's story, interpreting it, not getting offended by it, but also using it as an entryway to help people make their communities into what they want it to be? And that was very politically correct by me. I'm proud of myself. Go.
Interesting. I feel like this question is best answered by Lisa Jo because she has a really interesting process.
Good job by you.
She has a really interesting process, which is why we're working with Lisa Jo.
That's very good.
That Germantown United recognizes we do not.
And by the way, I'm really proud of you guys for even tackling that, because when you're doing this, the one thing that I think is important for everybody to acknowledge, and it's okay, is that everybody looks different. So sometimes when you do the same thing, but you look different, it's interpreted a different way. And I think it's really cool that you guys have had success by acknowledging people's stories and putting it into what that you do, even though your living room outside looks better than my living room inside. We'll talk about that later. So afterwards, we're gonna have Lisa Jo stick around, and you guys are gonna ask her how they did that, because then you guys can learn more about her company, and you guys can help her get money and do more stuff on all these corridors.
And I would add too that that this is Germantown Heart and Soul Project. It was supposed to just be a year-long engagement, but Germantown United is invested in continuing it. So we're continuing our work with Lisa Jo to increase the number of folks that we've been able to engage through her organization's process. So it's been really great for us. The majority of folks that attend what's called our story circle sessions. We have these like really fun gatherings that are like not like a zoning meeting, not like a civic group, not something where people come to complain a whole bunch, and they've been really heartwarming programs, and like we just recognize that we want to keep doing them until we feel like we've touched the different sections of the neighborhood that touch the business corridor, and then after that we're looking into, okay, well, what is the next step of continuing this type of engagement?
And before you go,
yes,
America wants to know, what's your favorite Fish song?
Oh my God, Tweezer.
Can you sing it like a bar? Come
They
on,
like hardly have-
come on.
The first line is, "Won't you step into my freezer?"
That's good enough. Everybody give a warm round of applause for Emaleigh Doley.